What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to TTB Ravens Media. And everybody, it's prime time, pregame stream.
Yeah.
Ravens control their destiny. We got Jaguars, huge AFC, potential rival in the postseason, a team that beat us last year. Rivalry game in the sense, or at least revenge game. Joshua, how you feeling?
Hey, man, listen. Steelers lost. I'm happy to hear that. Detroit, I appreciate y'all for putting the ass whipping on them Broncos. You know, Baltimore, y'all going down to Jacksonville tonight. 60-something degrees down there in Florida. I don't know how cold that feels to, someone that's used to all that hot weather, but to me, man, that's good weather for me. That's football weather. So I'm feeling pretty damn good tonight. This is under the lights. It's Sunday night football. This is what the Baltimore Ravens do. We usually shine in prime time, and I'm hoping that we go ahead with all the help from everybody else, taking those L's, and we get this win. We can go ahead and clinch this division because it is nice to know that we control our own destiny, man. We don't have to depend on nobody else. Granted, some things have fell in our lap. But it's like right now, this story is too good to be true. But you know what? I'm loving this story right now. It feels like the it's like the Disney movie, The Miracle. And I'm loving everything. I'm loving everything about it. So I'm just ready for us to go out there, man, and secure our destiny tonight.
Yeah, and last week should have been a loss. The Ravens shouldn't have won that game. They played horrible. But they were able to win. And that is huge for momentum because even when they played just about the worst game imaginable from a team standpoint, obviously, like Lamar didn't look awful in the game. There were some mistakes, but overall, they played awful. They were still able to pull it out coming off of the bye week. Now you've had a week and you're like, okay, this is our primetime stretch. Jaguars and then 49ers. Lamar Jackson, if you want to get yourself that second MVP, you have to be an MVP candidate when you face Brock Purdy, who's the leading MVP candidate right now because Dak Prescott just got obliterated by the Buffalo Bills.
Exactly.
But if you're going to go out there and do that, you gotta have a big game tonight when everybody's watching you, and in a game that a lot of people are excited for. Show the football world that this is the best team in the AFC. Like the Ravens haven't lost to really they haven't lost to a division leader this year. Like they've lost to random teams. They've lost to the Browns, they've lost to the Steelers, and they've lost to the Colts. If you're able to beat up on the Jaguars and you're able to go out and take care of business against the 49ers, people are definitely going to be looking at Lamar Jackson for that MVP and as the Ravens as the best team in the NFL because there's a lot of questions. People always have questions about the Ravens. This is the time to show them because the Ravens haven't been in prime time very much this year. They had one game. They played against the Bengals, or maybe they've had two games, but it hasn't been very many. They played against the Bengals in prime time, and that was kind of their biggest showing was Bengals in prime time a long time ago against healthy Burrow.
Yeah, man, I definitely agree with you, man. And I know, Trevor Lawrence is trying to be the Iron Man tonight. I know he was a little beat up and banged up, but this is the season where everybody is not 100%. Even shout out to Kyle Hamilton. I think he's wearing a knee brace. He's going to be out there acting tonight. We definitely going to see how limited his snaps is going to be. Like you said, man, these are playoff implication games. Hell, that Christmas night game is a possible Super Bowl implication type of game, man. And like you said, man, this is the time where Lamar Jackson makes that MVP run because these next couple games, we got Jacksonville tonight. Brock Purdy right after. Who's after the 49ers? Miami. Then you finish it out against our AFC foe, the Steelers. And hopefully, what if Mike Tomlin and John Harbaugh get walking papers together? even though John having to win the season, that'd be a hell of a storyline right there. But I mean, honestly, man, it's good. And in previous episodes, if y'all haven't been through the live stream, man, or previous recordings, having the first week bye, it's giving me a little PTSD. Yes, I still remember 2019. If you're from Baltimore, they was out there shagging and dragging, hitting their best two-step doing them, and we got smacked in the mouth. So am I worried about that? Hell yeah, because any given Sunday, the Ravens cannot be the Ravens that we all love. The Ravens could be the Ravens of the Kyle Bowler days. Hell, the early Joe Flacco days. When we were struggling. So I love that they are consistently executing. Yes, we may have down plays here and there, but they showing this year's team has a lot of resolve. This year's team, I don't know if you feel this way, McConnell. It feel like they're more focused. When you hear Lamar Jackson in the press conferences, he says he's treating every game like a playoff game. If that's not, a franchise quarterback or someone that's geared more towards winning versus, being this in-season MVP, I don't know, who to rally behind. Because this guy right here, he means business. And I'm loving how he is coming out there delivering. Does he have bad moments? Yeah. Every QB has bad moments. Every star player has some lackluster moments, but when it's time to come alive, those guys come alive. And I definitely feel like tonight, Lamar and company, keep on running the ball with Keaton Mitchell. These wide receivers, I'm kind of predicting a deep. I'm kind of going to predict a deep ball tonight to Rashad Bateman, 70-yard touchdown. I'm calling it early.
Ooh.
Yeah, yeah, man. It's way too many damn times. It's there. No, we don't have a Hollywood. No, we don't have a ball tracker like we used to. But one of these guys are going to come out and get that ball, run hard, maybe even break a tackle. So I'm definitely see the deep ball situation going to happen tonight, and I'm calling it for Rashad Bateman.
Yeah, I think the Ravens are definitely going to try and push the ball downfield. But Joshua, you talked about being focused, having that leadership. I think the biggest guy for that is Odell Beckham Jr. Odell's focused on two things. He's focused on football and he's focused on winning. Well, add in three teams. We'll say family because I know that's definitely a big focus for him. But that's it. He didn't come back to the NFL to make more money. He came back because he loves football and he wants to win another Super Bowl. This was the expectation was that this was going to be his last year in the NFL. But he wanted to come back. He wanted to rehab. He wanted to play one more time because the last time he played, he got to the Super Bowl and he got injured after scoring a touchdown in the Super Bowl, having a big first quarter. He looked great. He comes back and he's sluggish and people are kind of doubting him. They're like, man, the Ravens really overpaid. And, we talked about it on the show. Ravens fans knew it was like, it's going to take some time because he hasn't played football in 18 months. He hasn't practiced. He hasn't done anything. And now it's starting to groove. And he's focused on winning because he knows what it takes to win. You look at young Odell Beckham Jr. What was he focused on, right? Fame, flashiness, cockiness. That was a legend. There was back then there were two players that were must-see TV. It was Cam Newton, it was Odell Beckham Jr. It was turn the TV on. They are playing.
Yes,
then when they play against each other, you get that Josh Norman fights too. And it was like, man, Panthers, Giants, what's going on here? But it's a different Odell Beckham Jr. He's focused, he wants to win, and he's playing really well. And I think that's helping Lamar Jackson, helping these younger receivers realize, hey, it's okay, right? Because what happened 2.5 years ago? Him and his dad were calling out Baker Mayfield for not giving him the football.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden this year, they're like, Odell, you haven't really got done a lot. He's like, dude, there's a lot of mouths to feed here. We got a ton of playmakers. And I think he's instilling that mentality in every single one of the receivers where they know, they got to make the most of their opportunities. Zay's making the most of them recently. Rashad Bateman, when it's not a deep ball, he's making the most of it. It's not his specialty, but he gets open, man. He gets open down the field. So I think that this is just something where they're focused. They want to win, but they know that Lamar Jackson's been through it all. Mm-hmm. He's won a playoff game, but he's also had that momentum and overlooked an opponent. That doesn't happen anymore. unless you want to maybe consider last week as overlooking an opponent. But I think people underestimate this Rams team. When they're healthy, they're one of the best teams in the NFL, especially offensively. And they showed that, and the Ravens were still able to battle and rally through and come up clutch to win the game. And that reminded me of 2019 Lamar, where it was like, okay, weathering the storm, and then when we need you, Lamar Jackson is there. Like, he's Superman. Like, that's what he is.
Folks can talk about him, but one thing they can't say about him is that he's not clutch. He can't come win a game. I know, yeah. You know, his playoff record is looking how it's looking, but in season, he plays good ball for sure. And I love the fact that you brought up, the mentality of Odell Beckham Jr. because I think what's something we feel like Lamar's been missing out on. I think you and I have been agreeing on this and been talking about it. That veteran safety net wide receiver. I mean, granted, yes, he's had the safety net and Mark Andrews. They got drafted in the same year. But it's different when a quarterback has a safety valve and a wide receiver. Look how Josh Allen's career has taken a step further when they went ahead and made the move to get Stephon Diggs. We all knew Josh Allen had the big arm, the cannon. But once him and Stephon Diggs got together, hey man, listen, it was fireworks.
Yeah. And
honestly, I know everybody, is speculating that Odell retires this year. If we win a Super Bowl, I could possibly see it happening. But I could also see, his possible replacement being one of those young guys in the draft, possibly a Malik Neighbors or Torrey Horton. I know we both would love Kenny Coleman to be in the purple and black, but the way it's looking, we possibly might be, pick number 32. So hey, and our first pick is going to be an offensive lineman. 9 times out of 10.
Yeah, probably. But hey, you know what? If you're drafting an offensive lineman, that means you probably got a good thing going for you, and you don't need skill position players. So,
Ravens flock, you must have been watching somebody else. We never say that.
People talking about Tylan Wallace. Oops. I don't even know. Wait, does everybody look normal? I don't know. Did we disappear?
No, we here. I'm still here with you.
Oh, okay. I pressed a button on my screen and both of us disappeared. And I was like, wait, what's going on? What did I do? Okay. All right, stream's fine. But let's see here. Yeah, Tylan Wallace. Do we reward Tylan Wallace? I think, how do you reward him? You let him return the punts and you let him return some kicks and give him opportunities there. But like we know what Tylan Wallace is, a wide receiver. He's not amazing. He has jump ball ability. I don't mind seeing him out there, but he's not somebody where I'm like, we need to feed Tylan. Like, if we're going to give wide receivers screens and jet passes, Zay Flowers is the guy. He's the guy with this extreme rack ability. Like, as much as I like Tylan Wallace and I'm rooting for him, Tylan Wallace's game isn't rack. It's jump balls. It's receptions.
He's a possession guy.
Yeah. Aguilar's a vet. Like, Aguilar has shown like good chemistry with Lamar. He's, found soft spots in the zone. He's gotten big first downs. Like, it's tough to just throw Tylan Wallace out there consistently. I think instead we're going to see him on the punt returns, giving him an opportunity there. And I think that's huge. Like, we're going to still see him. Like, we're going to see him in this game, but it's not going to be, forcing anything. And then in terms of just the other receivers, let it fly. I like to see Lamar Jackson pushing the ball downfield. I like to see the Ravens receivers going deep. And I want to see some Odell opportunities on the sideline.
I definitely thought that's going to happen tonight. I mean, granted, no wide receiver core is not top 15, but at the end of the day, I mean, that's why I take this wide receiver core with us being the top seed versus that 2019 wide receiver core. I think this wide receiver core got less drops than
way less drops.
And this wide receiver core is not a little bit more, way more talented than that 2019 group. So there's some things that's still going to be worked on, but we are making things happen.
Right? We never claimed that we needed to have an elite receiving core. We claimed that we needed to have a competent receiving core to go along with our great run game. And we have a great tight end. Obviously, he's injured right now, which sucks, hurts the passing game. But we never were like, oh man, we just need to get that, number one wide receiver that's a top 5 player. No, we don't need that. What we need is we need guys that can go out there and can make some plays. And that's exactly what we got. And we're able to pay the money that some teams pay to a wide receiver, and we pay a Roquan Smith. And we pay big money to a linebacker, or we pay Clowney and Kyle Van Noy together for what other teams would pay for a number one wide receiver. And it's like, oh, look, we're able to get extreme production out of certain players because we know exactly what we need. And I would say our receiving core is definitely top 20. I don't know what the hate really is about. I mean, we have a okay wide receiver 1, like Zay Flowers, if you consider him the wide receiver 1. Like, he's probably average, but he's a fine wide receiver 1. And then we have a great wide receiver 2, if that's Odell. Or if Odell's the 1, it's like, okay, we have a decent wide receiver 1 and a great wide receiver 2. So, like, I'm fine. And our wide receiver 3 is Nelson Aguilar, who's has throughout his career been known as a solid wide receiver 3. Like, that's a good receiving core. We don't have a Jamar Chase. We don't have a Stephon Diggs or AJ Brown or Brandon Ayuk like these other teams have with the great wide receiver cores. But we still have players that are making plays. You don't look at this Ravens roster and say, man, if they had a receiver. That's because that's what it used to be.
No,
that's what people say about the Patriots.
Yeah. Listen.
And the Chiefs.
Shout out to Billy Zapp. 2 touchdowns to Hunter Henry. He was playing. So who knows what his future may look like. Yeah, I don't know if Malik Ham is on the practice squad. I did see Jeremiah Moon got moved up though to the active roster.
Yeah, a few people got moved up. I did see some guys were, let's see here, inactive. Let's see the inactives. Malik Cunningham to Pepe Williams. Darn, Pepe Williams. I saw DeMarion and I was like, who the heck is this guy? Oh, Rock Yassin, Sin Mustafa, Saleh, and Josh Johnson. So looks like Trenton Simpson is good to go.
Glad to have him come back.
But I'm just excited to see Kyle Hamilton and seeing Odell in primetime. Like, this is when Odell has showed out in his career, his primetime. Let's see it. Like, I want to see that again. There's nothing better than watching Odell go off in primetime.
Man, listen. Big time players always show out, man. I love to see it, man. And to be able to see Lamar Lamar and Odell primetime connection, that's gonna be a hell of a show. I feel like it's gonna be a hell of a show. Like I said, I'm even expecting a big game out of Rashad, man. I know he's been getting on himself, and once he started getting the reps, we have seen him fight for the ball. We have seen him, move the chains. I definitely want to see more of them, and I'm looking forward to see how Charlie and Isaiah Likely contribute as well.
Yeah, I think Isaiah Likely is going to be huge to watch in this game. How does Lamar Jackson check it down? And obviously, he had the big play last week on the sideline. And shout out to Todd Monken we never saw that with Greg Roman, right? Guy wide open and then score. Like, we had 3 big play touchdowns last week. I want to keep that going. I want to get Likely going deep. I want to get Odell going deep. I want to get Zay going deep. I want to see some Keaton Mitchell. My fantasy team doesn't want to see this, but I do want to see some Keaton Mitchell wheel routes on the sideline or something like that. Like, yeah. I'm very excited to watch this team play after the week they had last week where they struggled, a lot of mental mistakes, a lot of tough penalties. Like I think it was an offsides on a punt that then gave the first down to the Rams. They then score right after. And it's like, dude, what are you doing? But at the same time, explosive offense. big plays, clutch plays. That's what I want to see.
God damn, baby. So on the defensive side of the ball, who makes the difference tonight?
The beast, number 92, Justin Madubuike. Get pressure on Trevor Lawrence and bring him down in the pocket. Trevor Lawrence can throw on the run and he can run. Trevor Lawrence is not afraid to scramble, and he's done that throughout his entire career. He's not Lamar. He's not a crazy good athlete, but he's got decent speed. He's big, and he's a willing runner. Like he can give you 50 rushing yards in a game. We can't let that happen because that's how he was. When Clemson was super successful with him, he was running the football on scrambles. When the Jaguars are super successful, Trevor Lawrence is running the ball on scrambles.
Yeah, man, I definitely agree with that. I definitely feel like this is going to be a big game for Justin Madubuike and our front seven. Because, at the end of the day, in order to win championships, what I've been saying, defense wins us championships. Defense has been coming in clutch when we need it. Shout out to the offense, as well. When we get turnovers, when we get the ball back to them, they do either make 7 or 3 points. Sometimes, not always. But when the defense get out there, I forgot what game it was this year. The offense couldn't get going, but the defense just kept getting out there and getting stops and getting. I forgot who it was, but I forgot who the team was, but they kept on, getting the 3 and out. And at one point, maybe a year or two ago, if you kept on putting the defense out there, eventually they get tired and break down. But this year's defense, yes, we may bend, but we ain't breaking. Sometimes we let up big plays, but when it's time to clamp up, we'll clamp up. We all know that. We all seen that. So I definitely feel like, when it comes down to this front seven, seeing Kyle Van Noy, Jadeveon Clowney getting after it, hell, even Jason away, man. I'm still calling Jason right now. I need him to have a big game tonight too. He's another guy to watch out for, a dark horse that comes alive, in primetime games.
Yeah, he's definitely someone to bring up. I think another is just like Marcus Williams. Marcus Williams, how does he play? Because he's been looking better and better each and every week that he's come back from his injury.
Yeah.
Yet to see an interception, though. I want to see him jump something, or because he's jumped some routes but gotten swats. I want to see him jump something and get a pick, maybe take one back to the house or something like that. I'm just really excited. I love watching Marcus Williams play. I love watching the secondary play. That's my favorite position group to watch in the NFL is the secondary. So I love that the Ravens have a lot of good secondary players that I can watch.
Shout out to the secondary because they've been playing some great damn football this year. And shout out to our dark horse. I think you're going to agree with me on this one, McConnell. Brandon goddamn Stevens. Man, he's been playing good, man. I ain't going to say
new nickname.
I'm not gonna say that he hasn't got burned. I ain't gonna say he made Mr. Route. I ain't gonna say he hasn't overjumped, a possible pass where it could have been an interception. But to see him take a leap, a great step from when we first saw him play corner to now, man, hell of an improvement. Improvement. So shout out to Brandon Stevens, man. Keep doing what you're doing, man.
Yeah, and he's got a tough matchup, whether it be against Calvin Ridley or Christian Kirk or even like Zay Jones, whoever he's lining up.
I thought Christian Kirk was out.
Christian Kirk might actually be out, but Zay Jones and Calvin Ridley, both tough players to go. We saw what Marcus Peters last year, what happened against Zay Jones. So
yeah.
Rams traded 21 like CB1 and 44. That doesn't make any sense. Marlon was on Cooper Kupp. That's wide receiver 1 of the Rams now. I don't know what to say about that, but I want to see this Ravens team go out there and play the way that we want them to play. But Joshua, I think it's time. The best time of the week. Bold prediction time. What are you thinking for the offense?
Oh man, I think it's going to be another passing game where Lamar goes crazy. I got 350 yards, maybe possibly four, not possibly 350 for 4 passing touchdowns. One of those passing touchdowns, like I said earlier, Rashad Bateman, he breaks away. He uses his speed. No, it's not lightning speed, but we've seen the man get open. He gets the deep ball and he takes it all the way to the crib for 50 plus yards.
Yeah, and I think mine's gonna be similar. I'm saying Jackson 5 tonight.
Love to see it.
I'll say four passing touchdowns. I'm gonna go with 2 to Odell, 1 to Zay, 1 to Likely.
I like it. Okay.
And then 1 rushing. And we cannot forget Odell Beckham Jr. passing touchdown. Saying it every time until it happens.
I love it.
Defensive side of the ball, what do you got?
Oh man, give me 6 sacks with a scoop and score. Doesn't matter. BK. I feel like he's gonna get an open lane. Trevor Lawrence up, pick the ball up on some Jadeveon Clowney energy, and take it back. Take it back to the crib. Everybody in the convoy gonna be blocking for him. So I got
I'm going with the Clowney touchdown. I think Jadeveon gets on the board, and I'm going with Brandon Stevens, BS, ball skills. He gets an interception.
Does he take it to the crib? Does he use his running back skills?
I don't think so. Okay, I think this is a Randy Moss type interception. This is a high point. It's a difficult catch interception.
Okay, I like that. So I guess we gotta, since we done gave the bold predictions, the real juicy part. Score predictions. What we looking like? What we talking about? What we thinking about?
48-17.
Damn. Boy, that's laying it on.
I predicted a lot of touchdowns. I got to go with a high score.
That's laying it on him now. I like it. Oh, man, I was going to go 37-17.
I like it. There we go.
Hey, man. Man, shout out to this team, man. You know, everybody's playing. It seems like everybody down there playing with a chip on their shoulder, and it's working in our favor. We're playing good ball. We get into it on both sides of the ball, man, and we are playing hard. You know, shout out to our 2 middle linebackers, 100 tackles apiece. I hope Steve Rashad and Eric DeCosta find some money to keep some of these guys, man. Because I damn sure don't want to break up this unit for sure.
Yeah, definitely. But everybody, thank you guys so much for coming through. Make sure to come through to the post-game stream we'll have later in the week. Hopefully, when we see you guys, Ravens will be sitting at 12 wins, at 12-3. Or I guess it'll be 11 wins. They're 10-3 right now. 11 wins. 11-3. It should be very exciting. So thank you all so much. Subscribe for more, and we'll see y'all again then.